Hello, Renato.
Hello, I see that I'm already being streamed.
All right. Hi, Renato. Sorry, I was just double checking the live stream. We are currently on the holding slide on the animated filler on the live stream. So basically, what you see on my screen right now is the live stream that's happening on YouTube.
طب تمام هيك الصوت احسن. اوكي تمام. I think هلا صار احسن لانه في كمبيوتر جنبي ما كان. زي ما وصلنا عند الدكتور سعيد، الدكتور سعيد بلش عنده 3 برزنتيشن، بعدين حملتها الى الدكتور عقبال. الدكتور عقبال عندك برزنتيشن حيكون also 10 minutes. then الدكتور حسام، الدكتور حسام.
All right, Andrea.
then هلا basically على السكرين
Are we get to start a quick brief? Perfect. My colleague Sahara to share it from YouTube directly onto the WebEx. So within the WebEx room, yes. You're welcome.
بالضبط رجع ننتقله من الويبكس لستريم يارد ورجع سكروا ويبكس لانه بصير دمج.
All right. So hello everyone. Basically, what's going to happen now is that we're using WebEx as a waiting room. We do already have Renato on StreamYard and we do have on WebEx. We are going to be queuing you in turn to go from WebEx to StreamYard. Please note that when you are moving from WebEx to StreamYard, do close WebEx completely. Do not leave it open, it will produce an echo. When you're going to StreamYard, also, if you don't close WebEx, you won't be able to use your mic, you won't be able to use your camera as well. Once you are on StreamYard, allow me to share my screen quickly of StreamYard. We have Renato currently on the screen. So as you see here, you do have the lower panel. Everybody who just joins the StreamYard will be backstage. I will be admitting him on screen when his queue is next. Once you are on the screen, you are live. You need to talk immediately. For anything, sorry, just 1 second. So yeah, as I was saying, once you are backstage, you'll be waiting there for your queue. I'll be admitting you to the screen once your turn is up. And once you're up, you are live. Once you are done with your session, if you don't have anything else to do on StreamYard or not, you're not about to go next, please exit StreamYard. We do need to free space for the other people. We have a maximum of 7 slots on StreamYard for the speakers. And we do need to queue the next speakers that are about to come on stage. Do we have Paolo here with us? Andrea?
StreamYard.
Perfect.
Bring them. Bring them.
They are closing the session, so once they are out, I would like you to.
Bring them.
Hello. All right. So what I wanted to say is that since we have a limit of 7 people, on the first intervention, we have 5 people, including the moderator. So this is a total of 6 people. Once we are done with this intervention, Mr. Sean, Mr. Daniel, Mr. Renaud, Ms. Julia, and Mr. Tiago needs to leave the StreamYard so we can free up space for Dr. Pramod, Mr. Peter, and Ms. Genevieve. And later on, we have joining Ms. Andrea and Mr. Keys as guests. So as soon as you're done with the first intervention, please do leave. Dr. Paulo, it will require like a minute or maybe around a minute just to have the first speakers of the first intervention leaving and having Dr. Pramod, Mr. Peter, and Mrs. Genevieve joining and putting them on stage. Also, I want to ask you, do we have Mrs. Genevieve here with us? All right. All right, perfect. I just, yeah.
You also please leave and StreamYard.
أرجو من دكتور إقبال دكتور سعيد يفوت.
Good morning to all of you. Thank you all for joining this momentous event when the Biofuture platform starts a new arm of activities under the Clean Energy Ministerial. And to mark this occasion, we have gathered some of the world's top energy leaders, and I will pass the floor on to our co-chairs for this event. First Minister of Mines and Energy of Brazil, Admiral Bento Albuquerque, you have the floor.
Good morning from Brasilia. Good afternoon, good evening. Dear Executive Director of the IEA, Dr. Fatih Birol. Dear members of the CEM community, it is my great pleasure and honor to co-chair this event with my dearest friend, Fatih. We are here to launch the Biofuture platform initiative under the CEM, an important step in our common undertaking to give bioenergy and bioeconomy the attention they deserve as important paths to a low-carbon future. Our time is very limited today, so I will concentrate on three important messages. First, I wish to recognize the enormous progress we have made since 2016. When our countries came together, there was an urgent need to scale up sustainable low-carbon bioenergy. Today, thanks to our collective efforts and also to IEA's clear message about the role of bioenergy, there is ample agreement on the need to put in practice the commitments of our Vision Declaration, which are significantly increase the contribution of sustainable, modern bioenergy to final energy demand, significantly increase the share of sustainable, low-carbon biofuels as a percentage of transport fuels, including sea and air transport, significantly increase global investments in the sustainable, low-carbon bioeconomy, and multiply the expenditure by governments and industry on research and innovation in the bioeconomy. This vision has now to be translated into reality. And this brings me to my second message. International initiatives provide support, ideas, and cooperation, but real progress has to be made at the national level. Sustainable acceleration of bioenergy and biomaterial production requires a comprehensive set of policies, measures, and regulation. It is crucial to learn from each other's successes and mistakes so that the best and most efficient policies can be adapted and replicated around the world. Brazil has a long tradition on bioenergy and biofuels. Today, our country is able to competitively produce biomass with high levels of sustainability, efficient use of natural resource, and an extremely low carbon footprint. In April, Brazil concluded the regulation of the RenovaBio program, which promotes investment, innovation, and sustainability by tying incentives to environmental performance. CBIOS credits, which are linked to emission reductions based on low-carbon fuels, are already trading in São Paulo's stock exchange. This is the first year of full implementation of RenovaBio. We look forward to sharing its results with you, along with our experience on certification, quality assurance, farming practices,
bioenergy crops. Whenever it is possible, we want to partner with industry. And one of the ways that we do this is with our Department of Energy supported Advanced Biofuels and Bioproducts Process Development Unit at Lawrence Berkeley National Laboratory. That unit serves as a scale-up testbed for collaborators developing technologies that will transform raw materials such as plants and waste into bioproducts that we use every day. And we're proud to share that as of in May, the unit celebrated its 50th industry collaboration partnership since 2012. Of course, in the United States, the Department of Energy is not the only federal agency working to support the bioeconomy. We partner very closely with the U.S. Department of Agriculture through the Biomass Research and Development Board, which facilitates not only our collaboration with the U.S. Department of Agriculture, but across U.S. federal agencies that research and develop biofuels, bioproducts, and biopower. Through the board's bioeconomy initiative, agencies work together to align their efforts and collaborate in different interagency working groups. Through the bioeconomy initiative, the U.S. government can make sure that our federal agencies are aligned, that we have a unified effort that to bring to the international stage. And one of the things that I truly enjoy about events like today's is the opportunity to hear about similar and new efforts being taken by our global counterparts. Because collaboration is critical. It's critical for the United States. It's critical as we work across the federal government and with industry, but international collaboration is also critical to drive this bioeconomy and the bioeconomy of the future forward. And that is why we are an active part of the Clean Energy Ministerial. I'm happy to see our collaboration on bioenergy, that our collaboration on bioenergy is gaining speed as well. The Clean Energy Ministerial's Biofuture Platform Initiative will be cornerstone of public and private collaboration for commercial scale global bioenergy development. As the bioeconomy grows, we can expect a number of benefits, not only in the transportation sectors, but across a number of the sectors in the economy. So thank you very much for this opportunity to participate in this exciting global partnership. Thank you much.
Thank you very much, Secretary Simons, for those words on collaboration. Indeed, we can go much further if we do it together. And I'm now very happy to welcome to the floor Secretary Renu Swarup, Dr. Renu Swarup from the Department of Biotechnology in the Ministry of Science and Technology, India. India has also been a key leader and partner in the Biofuture Platform core group. Dr. Swarup.
Thank you very much, and a very good evening, good morning, good afternoon to wherever you are in whichever part of the world. And I think connecting virtually for this very important event gives us great pleasure. I'm so pleased to be here because India has been a key partner in all the bioenergy initiatives, and whether it's the Biofuture Platform, the Clean Energy Ministerial, or the Mission Innovation. Sustainable biofuel is one of the key components for clean energy, and we are very pleased that the Government of India has been participating in this very, very actively. The Government of India has a very strong policy in blending mandate as per our National Biofuels Policy, which was released in 2018, and there is a specific emphasis on the development of fuels from the agriculture residues and from other cellulosic ethanol. The whole Biofuture platform has been a very key initiative, and I think this platform has been able to bring together a large number of countries to look at the key features which are important for driving bioenergy and the importance it holds for the bioeconomy platform. I think in this whole initiative, as we are moving forward, we are taking a very key initiative now through this new initiative which is being launched by the Clean Energy Ministerial Biofuture Platform Initiative to connect the public and private sector. I also see this as a very important bridging activity, connecting the research and development which comes in from the mission innovation to the deployment initiatives which the Clean Energy Ministerial take forward. And I think the Biofuture platform plays a very key role. And I would like to compliment and congratulate everyone who has put together this key initiative for which we are launching today. It's also important to note that the Government of India has played a very important role in taking forward the bioeconomy through the bioenergy activities. There is a large national and an international collaboration initiative which we support for various vectors, be it the R&D projects, be it the pilot plants that we support, or moving forward towards commercialization of the technologies. Our engagement with the private sector, not just the large industries, but also the startups, has been a key point that has helped us to drive this initiative forward. As a part of the mission innovation activity, India is the country which has actually set up the first clean energy incubator. And we are very pleased that this international clean energy incubator is not just hosting the startups from within the country, but it's connecting them to the industry and also connecting to a large number of global partners. And we do have a partnership with the Swedish government to take it ahead. Very pleased that we also have partnerships with the International Energy Agency, and our MOU with them is to try and see how we move ahead in taking our goals forward. We also believe that this whole area of biofuels is an essential part of the technology portfolio which is needed to reduce the emissions from transport, as well as providing energy security by reducing oil imports while providing a lot of rural employment, which is so important and critical for India. And advancing the role of this whole bioenergy sector depends heavily on the innovations that we bring forward. And that is why the reference that I made to the startups in the industry is so important and critical for us. I'm very pleased that in today's session itself, we have one of our key industry leaders who's going to represent India and bring out the key industrial advances which have been made. Dr. Chaudhary will be doing that very shortly. It's also important to note that India has played a very pivotal role in the MI and in the CEM and in the Biofuture platform. And as we move into this new initiative of the Biofuture CEM platform initiative, we are very pleased to take on the role and responsibility of a co-lead and also being able to drive this forward, because we do understand that the key initiatives that we have brought in will play a very important role in connecting nationally and internationally. India also has very important international bilateral partnerships in addition to these multilateral engagements that we have. Our partnership with the US in terms of the Joint Clean Energy Research Development Center, the PACER, was one successful partnership which we've taken ahead. We are also partners in a large number of EU initiatives which look at biofuel, and of course our initiatives and our partnerships with Brazil to take it ahead is important for us to take forward. We also look at this Biofuture platform initiative, which is going to play a very key role in, as I said, connecting the industry, but also connecting a large number of countries. And I would like to call upon all member countries to come forward with this initiative to take this as an important platform which can help us to bring together our research efforts onto a common convergence platform for pilot demonstration, so that these technologies, which are so important and critical, can be deployed, which is going to play a very important role in our bioeconomy. India has, over the last few years, created a very vibrant ecosystem of connecting industry and academia. And we also have a strategy which is now looking at not just the biotech sector, but looking at the whole bioeconomy sector. And this strategy, under this particular strategy, the R&D, the technology development in terms of the various levels of industry academia partnership, and looking at the role that bioenergy plays into it is important and critical for us as we move on. I would once again like to compliment each one who's played a very important role, and India, being a member of the core group of the Biofuture platform, takes immense pleasure and pride in being a co-leader for this new initiative. I would like to wish everyone good success in this, and I'm confident that as the Biofuture platform has succeeded in each of its other activities, this new initiative, which is the CEM initiative for the Biofuture platform, would also succeed. And this will be able to bring together not just the researchers, the startups and the industry from different countries, but also bring us onto a common platform to discuss important policy initiatives so that we can then learn from each other's experience and collectively be able to address the global challenge that we are all working towards. So thank you very much. It's a pleasure to be here, and good luck for this very new initiative which is being launched. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Dr. Swarup, for your words and for your leadership also in this initiative. And I see so much of the messages converging. I'd like now, I'm very honored to receive the head of international energy in the United Kingdom, Ms. Julia Nolan, to take the floor.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chair. Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, I'm delighted to join you all at the launch of the CEM Biofuture Platform Initiative. And particularly thank you to Minister Bento and Dr. Fatih Birol for their inspiring remarks, which highlight the crucial role that bioenergy and biofuels must play in accelerating the transition to cleaner energy technologies. It's also good to hear from other speakers about the work that's being done in other countries. Now, this is one of the prime objectives of this initiative. In the UK, you're used to us talking a lot about our offshore wind and the place that it plays as a growing part of our electricity supply. But bioenergy plays an important role too, providing up to 12% of total electricity generation in the first quarter of this year. So as Dr. Birol said at the beginning, it's a bit of an unsung giant. So as we in the UK plan ahead towards our net zero goal, we're considering how bioenergy can help us. Linked with CCUS, the prospects are particularly exciting in the transport sector, as others have said. Together with electric vehicles, they form a core part of our road to zero transport strategy. And the need for innovative and ambitious ideas across green energies and industry has never been greater. We see bioenergy as an important part of the broader switch towards the bioeconomy. We have a strong national strategy to promote innovation in this sector. That's nationally. But others have said international cooperation is essential if we're going to grow the role of sustainable bioenergy globally. The new version of the IEA's Energies Technology Perspectives makes that quite clear. We need a coordinated approach to share best practices and to stimulate the innovation which is key to developing affordable new biofuels. For example, in aviation, where we need it so badly. An international approach to develop a sustainability governance is also essential, given the likely international movement of biofuels. So I'm very pleased that the initiative co-leads and the IEA are working together to highlight the role of bioenergy and biofuels in our future. Industry engagement will be vital to progress in this sector, and it's particularly good to see leading bioenergy companies speaking on this platform. So on behalf of the UK, I very much welcome the development of this CEM activity, and I very much look forward to contributing to its work. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Nolan. Thank you also for UK's participation and leadership in the Biofuture platform. And I'm now happy to introduce the last speaker in this segment, which happens to be from Brazil, the CEM Sherpa, Mr. Thiago Barral, President of the Energy Planning Agency. Thiago, you have the floor.
Thank you, Renato. Dear Minister Bento Albuquerque, dear Executive Director of the IEA, Fatih Birol, dear policymakers, industry leaders, government delegates, representatives from international organizations, and representatives from the wider CEM community. Since our chair, Minister Bento, has already expressed the relevance of the step we are taking today, I will very briefly highlight the plans our 6 countries have put together as co-leads of the Biofuture Platform initiative, reviewed and approved by all 20 Biofuture countries. And I will also comment on our hopes and expectations for this new key CEM initiative going forward. The Biofuture Platform initiative builds upon the existing Biofuture Platform, a 20-country effort established in 2016, and for which the IEA has been acting as a facilitator since February 2019. By its launch, the Biofuture Platform initiative will be led by a core group consisting of 6 member countries: Brazil, Canada, India, the Netherlands, United Kingdom, and the USA. The IEA will serve as operating agent for this initiative in close collaboration with all co-leads. In order to foster the Biofuture platform's goals, according to the most urgent priorities, the 20 member countries have already set up and approved a work plan for 2020 and 2021, which includes the 7 key activities. 1. Engagement with industry. This is a key aspect of the initiative, as our countries have decided that a much stronger engagement with the private sector is necessary. Not by coincidence, we shall have the pleasure to listen to the views of key industry leaders from Asia, Europe, and the Americas today. Our goal is to build a continued, sustained engagement with the industry so that governments, regulators, academia, international agencies can align priorities and expectations to unlock a whole new level of investments in low-carbon bioeconomy. For that, an intense Biofuture CEM campaign is in the cards for next year. 2. Policy blueprint. As Minister Bento said, a well-designed policy framework at national level is the single most important factor to drive bioeconomy forward. The Biofuture policy blueprint, an already ongoing project, intends to systematize and communicate the lessons incurred by countries in the process to accelerate learning and accelerate policy design and implementation around the world. 3. Post-COVID recovery. The international crisis related to COVID-19 has already heavily impacted bioenergy in the short term through a double shock of price and demand, with sector requiring attention to avoid lasting damage. In face of this, the 20 countries have worked on 5 Biofuture principles for post-COVID bioeconomy recovery and acceleration. The principles recognize the urgent need to support the sector in the short term, but also to embed the low-carbon bioeconomy in broad economic recovery programs for long-term growth and success. The CEM initiative shall work to build further awareness of those principles and guide implementation. 4. Convergence on sustainability. One of the most important roadblocks in the way to accelerating investments in the bioeconomy is the insufficient understanding and lack of confidence among some circles about what it takes to do bioenergy in a sustainable way. We have come far in recent years. However, both the technical progress, agricultural practices, and scientific and technical knowledge about this issue. What is needed is a credible international process to consolidate this learning in a simple set of guidance. This is what we shall do, set out to do, in partnership with key organizations in this field, particularly the IEA Bioenergy TCP and GBEP. 5. Engaging finance. Climate financing, green bonds, innovative financing mechanisms, and the work of key multilateral funds are not sufficiently engaged with bioeconomy and with clean energy supply to the industry, heat, and transport sectors, having so far devoted a lot of resources to already proven technologies in the power sector. It is crucial to bridge the knowledge and experience gap between bioenergy and green finance circles, so that financial products adapted to further particular features of the sector can become mainstream in the market. 6. Conferences and learning. Direct interface, exchange, and networking are crucial to disseminate learning, amplify successes, and generate inspiration and innovation. The Biofuture initiative will provide opportunities for this kind of serendipity in a series of conferences and webinars, most notably the 3-day second Biofuture Summit to be held in May 2021 in São Paulo, Brazil. And finally, 7, State of the Bioeconomy Report. Every 3 years, the platform's seminal Creating the Biofuture Report, launched in December 2018, shall be updated and expanded with new knowledge, advice, production data, policy developments, and insights from the 20 Biofuture member countries, taking advantage of the IEA's expertise in energy analysis, knowledge, and data. This is our roadmap for the new future. I look with optimism in our prospects. With the continued engagement of our countries, the vision we have of a low-carbon, sustainable bioeconomy can be realized. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Mr. Barral, for laying out this plan of activities that our countries have approved. Indeed, we have a lot on our plate, a lot we have to do, and we will have to count also on the participation of industry. And to welcome the segment on the industry leaders here, I will pass on the floor to my co-moderator, Paulo Frankel, Head of Renewable Energy in the International Energy Agency. Paulo, you lead on.
Renato. So, good afternoon again from Paris. It's my pleasure to introduce the session on industry. One of the main features of the CEM initiatives is the strong partnership with industry, and we are delighted to have the CEOs and the senior executives of 3 leading industries today. I would like immediately to give the floor to Dr. Pramod Chaudhary, Executive Chairman of Praj Industries, India. Dr. Chaudhary, the floor is yours. Please, for the sake of time, we are slightly late. I kindly ask every speaker to limit to 3 minutes its intervention. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. Very good evening, good morning. Do I have my slides put on? Can you please put my presentation on? Yes, next. Next, please, yeah. So we are looking at this low carbon economy, but the word I would like to add is the circular bioeconomy, which is giving the fullest benefits of this bioeconomy in all aspects. And I don't want to go on defining the circular bioeconomy, but that's the way we look at it, and our solutions are end-to-end solutions to achieve this aspect holistically. Next, please. So in case of global scenario, the biomass is the bedrock of all advanced biofuels. And luckily they are decentralized, they are regional, supply chains are there. So they don't get affected because of the resilience. They are having a resilience and they don't get affected due to this kind of pandemic. We have a diverse range of feedstocks globally, and regional crop patterns play an important role for making biofuels out of that. Advancement in technology is happening. More and more than 60 countries have adopted the mandates of compulsory blending of biofuels in the major fuels. In short, there is a need for global standards, global trade policy to encourage and accelerate the collaborations across the countries. But that's one area where I think the lead can be taken to accelerate this kind of partnership. In short, the feedstocks, technology, and products, they will help to bring down the carbon intensity and help the world to make it a better place. Next one. Post-COVID-19, there has been a major impact. In fact, the way it is being looked is that this pandemic is resulted in creating kind of a inflection point for leapfrogging of bioeconomy. And this is our belief. I also discussed with the industry partners, and everybody believes that this pandemic is putting a lot of scope and challenges in front of bioeconomy to move forward. It will strike the right balance between the growth and environment. That will be the imperative, and it will also harness sustainable practices and decarbonization technologies. Rising awareness and acceptance is a new thing which is happening and which is going to happen in an accelerated manner, which will drive the demand. So I feel that this is going to be really a game plan for mitigating the climate change, and it will also accelerate because now people are realizing that the climate change is definitely causing calamities and disruption and floods, and their day-to-day life gets affected. So I think the industry, the public at large is going to be being more demanding on this aspect. Next. When it comes to India, Madam Dr. Renu Swarup has given you an overall picture of what's happening in India. The government is very helping the industry and the community to adopt more and more bioeconomy. We have, being in tropical belt, we have abundant availability of biomass and sugary substances, and we have a untapped potential of agri residues, which was getting wasted, which was starch, and now it is being deployed to put to a better use. Collection, aggregation, and storage is on an improving side, and government has supported the advanced biofuels, the second generation biofuels from biomass like paddy straw and other things. We hope that they will give a very major boost to this advancement. And the next stage is, of course, logical step is to go for biochemicals, renewable chemicals, and renewable materials. Already a lot of R&D is going on, and Government of India is very active. One of the important policy declared was about the gaseous biofuel, that is compressed biogas. And a massive program is drawn by the government. So in short, bioeconomy is going to play a very important role contributing to the overall GDP, and it is expected that by 2024-25, the bioeconomy will reach about $25 billion in that range, which will be contributing to the overall biotechnology basket of $100 billion. It's a massive program which is being implemented. Post-COVID impact in India is a very, very peculiar scenario which has happened, is that, of course, it is helping to meet the NDCs from the climate change point of view, but it's also facilitating a pursuit of self-reliance. Because you know that India imports almost 80% of crude oil, and biofuels are helping to reduce those imports. It's also boosting the rural economy. The farming community is getting benefited because of use of bioeconomy, bioenergy, and it's also helping them to have additional revenue stream. The most important thing which came out of the fallout of the COVID pandemic is that the migration from rural to urban. Now it's become a reverse migration, and people are going back to the rural side, and these areas of bioenergy are creating job employment, entrepreneurship, and sort of livelihood for the rural masses. We are also on the verge of introducing sustainable aviation fuels, marine fuels, and so many other parameters, including the biomethanol. So I think by overall the growth of bioeconomy, the sustainable bioeconomy is on the rise in increase, and thanks to the Indian government for supporting all these efforts. The private sector is also working very hard to go in that direction. Bioeconomy will play a pivotal role to reboot and reboost the economy. So I have to thank the organizer for allowing me to share my thoughts, and I hope that this will be definitely helping to promote more and more bioeconomy. Thank you very much.
Dr. Chaudhary. We go immediately to Europe to Mr. Peter Vanacker, the President and CEO of Nestlé Corporation. Mr. Vanacker, please. Yes.
Yes, hello. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you also for the opportunity to address you today. And I salute the Biofutures initiatives. It's very timely and relevant as an initiative right now. The climate crisis does not wait, and the crisis is not over because of another crisis, the COVID-19 pandemic. The global recovery must be green. And therefore, I fully agree with the recently adopted Biofutures principles for post-COVID bioeconomy, recovery and acceleration. Indeed, we must not backtrack with our ambitions that we have for biofuels. They are an indispensable part of decarbonizing transportation. At Nestlé, we believe that all sustainable solutions will be needed to move away from fossil fuels. Energy efficiency, public transport, and clean fuels and energy carriers are all part of the solution. We will need, of course, renewable electricity We will need green hydrogen. We will need power-to-X solutions, but we also need a lot of biofuels. And they are already here and ready to be used in the billions of vehicles that are on the roads globally. Internal combustion engines will be the prevalent thing and driving force of vehicles in the foreseeable future. So let's use clean fuels in them to make a large and fast impact on emissions. And increasingly, we can use biofuels also in airplanes. The IEA recently estimated that global biofuels production would need to grow more than 3 times by 2030 from today's levels to reach the level required by the Sustainable Development Scenario. And to reach that goal, we need predictable, long-term regulatory frameworks, which give certainty for investors while safeguarding sustainability. The LCFS system in California, the upcoming clean fuel standards in Canada, and the RED2 framework are just key drivers behind the increasing uptake of biofuels and other low-carbon fuels. It is very important that we don't change the course on them. Now, Neste is ready to play its part. We have pledged to reduce our customers' emissions by 20 million tons by 2030 and become a carbon neutral in our production by 2035. And we are currently building a new 1.3 million tons of renewable products refinery in Singapore, which will produce fuels for the roads, in the skies, as well as to provide feedstocks for bio-based plastics. And that, I promise you, will not be our last investment. So thank you again. I wish you very fruitful deliberations and a successful marriage of the Biofutures platform as a clean energy ministerial workstream. Thanks a lot.
Thank you very much, Mr. Vanacker. For the sake of time, I give the floor immediately to Ms. Geneviève Brisson. We cross the ocean again to Canada, Senior Director for Global Government Affairs of Enerchem.
Thank you very much.
The floor is yours.
Thank you very much. I do have a PowerPoint presentation. So I'll just wait for the slides to be on. Thank you very much. Next slides, please. So hello, everyone. I'm happy to present Enerchem's contribution to a circular and low-carbon bioeconomy. Enerchem is a Quebec-based Canadian clean tech company. Our first commercial-sized plant is in partnership with the City of Edmonton in Alberta, where we divert the city's waste from going to landfill. Our ultimate objective is to divert waste from going to landfill to produce biofuels and renewable chemicals. Next slide, please. Although there are several measures adopted to reduce, recycle, and compost, currently about 2 billion metric tons of municipal solid waste are produced annually worldwide. The World Bank estimates overall waste generation will increase to 3.4 billion metric tons by 2050. Clearly, waste management presents several issues, but also a lot of opportunities, and that is where Enerchem fits in. Next slide, please. Only in Canada only, over 10 million tons of municipal solid waste are generated each year. With Enerchem's technology, 60% of this waste could be diverted from going to landfill. Next slide, please. In a snapshot, here is the Enerchem solution. What do we use as a feedstock? Ultimate waste that cannot be recycled or composted, non-recyclable plastics, and at last but not least, forest biomass. How do we do it? We use a thermochemical process rather than incineration. What comes out of this? Biofuels, namely for cars or trucks, biojet fuels for planes, and renewable chemicals that displace hydrocarbons in solvents, paints, plastics, to name a few. If I can offer advice to what kind of policies the industry needs to foster innovation, an industry like ours needs long-term mandates for low-carbon fuels to ensure market stability, as well as fiscal incentives to level the playing field as new technologies are commercialized. Thank you for allowing me to present Enercam's solution to accelerate the transition to a sustainable low-carbon bioeconomy.
Thank you so much, Geneviève. Before we open the floor to a few minutes of questions, we have two short interventions from two other countries that requested. I would like to give the floor to Ms. Andrea Febi Misna, who is Director of Bioenergy at the Ministry of Energy and Mineral Resources in Indonesia. We are very pleased to have you with us, Ms. Febi. Please, the floor is yours.
Thank you, Dr. Paulo. Good afternoon, everyone, and good evening from Jakarta. Thank you very much for giving us opportunity to share our effort in bioenergy development. And in this opportunity, I also would like to extend my great appreciation to Biofuture Platform Secretariat, International Energy Agency, CEM Secretariat, and also the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia for organizing this event. We are honored and pleased to join the Biofuture Platform Initiative, accelerating the transition to a sustainable low-carbon bioeconomy. Indonesia has abundant biomass sources, which come from forestry, agriculture, and waste. However, the utilization is still low compared to its potential. From more than 32 gigawatt of biomass potential for electricity, the installed capacity of biomass power plant has only reached less than 1.9 gigawatt. This number is far below the target of 5.5 gigawatt installed capacity in 2025. Currently, the government of Indonesia is seeking a breakthrough in biomass utilization to reduce the role of coal that is still dominant and encourage the achievement of the new renewable energy mix target for 23% by 2025. We encourage co-firing biomass at the coal power plant, and hopefully we can pursue an additional of 1 to 3% target by 2025. The development of optimized biomass will utilize potential waste and biomass pellet from energy crops domestically that will increase the national energy independence. Around 114 coal-fired power plants will be changed to be co-firing with biomass. And since 2019, some of those coal-fired power plants already completed co-firing tests using biomass pellets, and as well as RDF, up to 10% depend on type of the boiler technology. We hope into 2021 we can start to implement co-firing in coal-fired power plant step by step, continuously. On the other hand, substituting of even replacing fossil fuel with biofuel is an efficient way to develop more environmentally friendly solution to fulfill current energy demand. Indonesia already successfully implemented biodiesel with blending rate 20% since 2016. And in the beginning of this year, the government of Indonesia has implemented the B30 mandatory biofuel program to all related sectors: transportation, power generation, industrial, and commercial sectors. In 2019, the consumption of biodiesel is around 6.4 million kiloliters. And in 2020, increasing to be 9.6 million kiloliters with B30. Due to the COVID-19 pandemic, it is projected that there will be a decrease in the biodiesel consumption by 13% from the 2020 allocation. Despite the hit and setback of the global pandemic, the Indonesian government remains committed to continuing the mandatory B30 program. Indonesia gets several benefits by developing biodiesel. Among others are increased energy security and reliability, reduce consumption and import of fossil fuel, increase economic added value by downstreaming palm oil industry, and support the domestic of agriculture-based economy. Furthermore, the government will also encourage the development of higher blending biodiesel in the near future. B40 trial is under preparation now, as well as hydrotreated vegetable oil or green fuel. Ministry of Energy and Mineral Resources, together with Pertamina, ITB, and also other related stakeholders, are developing a catalyst to produce crude palm oil-based green fuel. It is expected that the biorefinery will be ready for production in 2023. We are aware that achieving such ambitious targets are not easy. Some challenges might arise, such as the sustainability of feedstock, immature industry chain, limited financing channel, and high investment and operational costs, conflicted with food, feed and fertilizer, and also land use issue. But we will all out and using all available resources to achieve the target, or at minimum to increase bioenergy utilization at the most optimum level. We hope through Biofuture platform initiative, we can collaborate each other to encourage the accelerating the transition to a sustainable low carbon economy. As we know that biomass provides two main routes to mitigating climate change. When growth, it removes carbon dioxide from the atmosphere and store it for long period of time in soil, trees, and plants. Biomass also produces less emission compared to fossil fuel. With a huge potential, result-oriented program, and strong commitment, Indonesia is ready to participate in accelerating the transition to a sustainable low-carbon bioeconomy by boosting the utilization of our bioenergy potential. My God bless us with good health, protection, and strength, especially during this global pandemic. Thank you very much.
For just a few more minutes until 5:15 European time. So please now, the next speech is to Mr. Kees Kwant from the Netherlands, Senior Program Manager from the Dutch Ministry of Economic Affairs and Climate. Kees, please be very concise. I would like to at least ask one question to the companies. Thank you.
Yes, thank you very much. Indeed, in the Netherlands, climate change, combating climate change is very important. So we have a very, let's say, strong goal, 49% in the year 2030. And biomass is going to play a crucial role as well, next to wind and solar. However, for the Netherlands, it's important that this biomass is procured sustainably. But it's also important that we use the biomass for high-value applications. So we are looking for green gas, biofuels, but also for biochemicals. And for that reason, the Biofuture platform is a very good opportunity for us to work together with other countries to develop this new bioeconomy. And this also leads me to the question that I would like to ask, because as I mentioned, the biochemicals are an important part of the future portfolio that we think is important for biomass, to utilize biomass and produce chemicals, products in biorefineries, and that they can be used. So my question actually to the industries is, how are we going, or what would be, in your view, the best way to promote biochemicals? Should it be through a higher tax on the fossil fuels, or should it be through a blending obligation, like what we have done with the biofuels in the different sectors and in the different countries? Or do you think it is just competitive on its own and it doesn't need any additional support from the government? So that's a question from my side to the industries. I don't think we can solve it just straight away, but it's certainly something we can work on within the Biofuture platform and within the bioenergy initiative under the CEM.
Thank you so much, Kees. I would like to extend this one question to the companies. Okay. What is the single most important thing that you expect from this CEM initiative. What is the thing which is most helpful to you, which could be related to what Kees just asked about bioproducts? Can I first give the floor to Geneviève, then Van Acker, and then Chaudhary, please? Peter, you're online. You can start.
Yeah, sure. I can absolutely do that. And of course, we're happy also to be in the Netherlands and produce our products there. So very clear, we need to have a regulation that is consistent, that is giving a pathway over a longer period of time with different steps, for example, per year, and an outlook on what is the aspiration. And that pathway and that regulation should be open for different types of technology and not favor one technology compared to the other technology. So it could be mandates. Yeah, that would be very good, especially if we talk about the aviation industry. But I think the most important thing is that we know where do we want to go 2030, 2050, but also where do we want to go every year, and we don't change the regulation like RED2 every other year. Yeah.
Thank you, Peter. Very clear about policies certainty. Is Geneviève still online? I would like her to intervene, or I see Dr. Chaudhary. Please, the floor is yours, Dr. Chaudhary.
I think the most important thing to take these programs forward with acceleration is the main thing is regulatory framework in terms of standardization, long duration policies without any fluctuations, and encouraging usage at the level of endpoints where the users get benefited also partly because of this. Unless there's a traction of that kind, it will always find difficult. Your regulations may not help. So you have to create that traction at the end point and making the user take advantage of this. This is the way I look at it.
Thank you so much again for a very clear message. Is Ms. Brisson still available online? Now, if not, we are already more than 10 minutes later than scheduled. We will respond to any request in written, any questions. So we will continue this debate. And of course, I can tell you right now that we will ramp up the partnership with the industrial and the private sector within this initiative in the next weeks and months. So you will hear back from us, and we will expand the network a lot. With this, I would like to conclude and give the floor to Renato for a few concluding remarks. Renato, the floor is yours as Biofuture Chair right now. Thank you.
Thank you, Paulo, and to all the participants in this session. This has been great, and there are so many messages that we have heard that are converging towards the same place. So I would summarize them as three. Recognition of the importance of the bioenergy and the low carbon bioeconomy in the broader energy transition. So that's the reason why the Biofuture platform is now also under the CEM, so the major initiative dedicated to the broader energy transition. So we have to go further from the circles of bioenergy alone and contemplate the rightful place of bioenergy as one of the most important solutions in this energy transition. Second, I would say international collaboration. Several speakers have dealt on this. So they are bioenergy and bioeconomy. It's a very complex subject, and there is a lot that can be learned and things that can go right and wrong. We should not try to reinvent the wheel every country. So there is a lot of experience, a lot of successes, and we have to learn from each other because we simply have no time to spend decades each one going their own way. So of course there are specific solutions, but there's also a lot to learn from each other. And the third I would say is policy. This is a sector that needs the environmental externalities that are positive to be recognized. And the way to do that we know is the best way is policy on several fronts: technologies, markets, and as we had just heard here from the companies also, mandates and ways to recognize in a technology neutral way the environmental externalities of bioenergy. So we have a lot to do, and with the help of everyone here, we'll try to deliver, and there is a lot already of activities currently on the map. Thank you very much. I think this has been a great session, and we hope to see all of you again for the follow-up and further initiatives. Thank you very much. Good evening, afternoon, and morning for all of you.